Okay, hello there. This is GH101, and the topic is using text-based interaction on your home computer. We'll start with Windows. So I'm going to go over to my Windows. We were previously using FileZilla. Alright, so one of the things that we do in Windows is look at files. Alright, so I don't really have a lot of files here because this is a copy of Windows that I only use for demonstrating things to people. But I have my different directories. I can browse my directories, move files around. So this is the File Explorer. That's one of the things I can do is I can click directories, look at files. All right, there's another way to do that on Windows, and you can get to it by doing command. So CMD gives you something called a command prompt. All right, now this command prompt has the same purpose as this File Explorer. The File Explorer, I have some directory that I'm looking at. That's a directory that doesn't have anything in it. There's a directory that has something in it. Over here I have a directory that I'm looking at, and right now it's this directory. I could actually type this up here. And this is what things look like with File Explorer. Down here, it's not showing me anything. This thing's just blinking, but I have to type commands for it to do something. And so dir is the command for displaying the contents of a directory. So this is kind of the same information as over here. I could make this one look more similar by giving a detailed list. So there's a name for these things. There's a date modified on both sides. All right, so that's the command dir, which will keep track of commands that we're using here. Okay. Over here, if I want to go into a different directory, I can double click or I can type up here. So I can click on the downloads. Down here, if I want to go into a directory, the mouse doesn't actually do anything down here. I have to do CD for change directory. And then I can change into that directory. And if I want to see what's in the downloads directory, dir. So I have dir and I have CD for change directory. If I wanted to, let's say I want to make a new directory here in my downloads directory, over here I would right click and say new folder, folder 1. All right, down here there's a command mkdir, make dir. If I do dir, there's folder 1, mkdir folder 2. Now there's folder 1 and folder 2, and we can see them both there. If I want to delete something, up here I click on it and I can right click and say delete. Down here there has to be a command, and del is the command for delete. And this is asking me to confirm folder 2 is actually directories, or am I sure I want to delete everything that's in there, and I do. All right, so del for delete. Other things that we can do over here would be copying files. So if I want to make a copy of this file, I could do Control C and Control V. I just made a copy. Or I would do right click, copy, right click, paste, or I could have two of these windows open, and I could drag from one to another. Let's say I want to move something from my downloads to my desktop, then I would drag from here to over here. And that's either going to move or copy depending on if it's in the same drive, then it's going to move it. If I'm dragging it to an external drive like a thumb drive, it's going to make a copy. All right, if I want to do some copying over here, the command is cp for copy. So copy Silverlight, and if I type tab, it goes through things that I just typed silver. It'll go through the files that start with silver. So if I want to do copy that, and maybe I want to make a new copy, and I'll call it .copy.exe. Sorry, copy. This thing here was because it doesn't know about something called CP. All right, there it copied. Okay, so we've got copy. If I want to move, there's a command called move. So I could say move, I'll move that copy to the desktop. But so to move it to the desktop, let's see if that'll work. Didn't like that. If there's a space in the name, then I have to put quotes. There it moved. Okay, so we've got these are the things that we can do on the command line. If there was a program, if I wanted to run the program, so that's something that I could do by double-clicking. So double-click. If I want to run that program, I would just type it like that, and it'll run it. Let's see if I have, why don't we save this document, and we'll save it in my documents. So notes. All right, let's go to, I want to go over to my documents. Over here, there's an up button, which goes up one level. Over here, you do CD space and then ... goes up one level. So ... is up one level. All right, now I can go into my documents directory. I have something called notes.txt there. If I look at it over here, I could double click and it would open whatever program is supposed to open that type of file, or I could right click here and open with, and maybe I would get some choices. Over here, I would say start, and it would open using whatever program is supposed to open those, so I don't get a choice. Okay. Save. Control S. Okay, so that's probably good enough. This is the way the world used to be before Windows. So before Windows and OS2 and other operating systems that used a mouse and clicking, everything happened like this. So you would browse around to your different directories, and then when you have the file that you want to do something with, you would start a program. So you would start a program to work with that file just by typing commands. And we'll be doing that on the CS server because if you're good at it, it's faster to actually type a lot of this stuff than to click around with the mouse. And it's a lot easier to do remotely to connect in terms of speed. All right, we'll call that it for text-based interaction with Microsoft Windows. This is just to show you that what we're going to do on Linux, there is a counter, whatever your computer is, Windows or Mac or whatever, you can already do that on your computer. We'll put these notes into the Google Doc that we did this. All right, stop the video, have fun.